What's up, my Financial Fit fam? Adam here, and thank you for coming back as always. First, let's wrap our head around the fact that large institutions will always have the advantage over you and I. It's sad to admit, but it's true. They're able to trade large quantity of shares on fractional movements. The same could be said for someone that's been studying the markets their entire lives and have access to unlimited resources that you and I could only dream of. What if instead of blindly picking your own stocks, or following your drunk uncle's advice, or your Uber driver, or maybe even me, you found an investor with a great investing philosophy, and you followed in their footsteps? So today we're going to start a brand new segment. It's called Follow the Smart Money. For me, that person is the intelligent, forward-thinking, talented Cathie Wood of ARK Invest. In today's video, we're going to go through a simple process to identify the stocks that ARK is buying, how much of those stocks they're buying, and how to catch momentum of those stocks. So let's get going. Investing with Cathie Wood or similar strategies is like going to Vegas and betting with the house instead of trying to beat them. Today we're going to be talking about Cathie Wood, but if there's any investors that you follow, drop their name in the comments below and a reason why you follow that individual. What makes them special? In order to understand Cathie and trust Cathie Wood, you have to understand a little bit of her background. She graduated from USC with a degree in finance and economics. She then spent 18 years at Jennison Associates as a chief economist, analyst, portfolio manager, and director. In 2000, she co-founded a hedge fund called Tupelo Capital. She then spent 12 years at AllianceBernstein as a chief economist officer. She then founded ARK Invest in 2014, and she was the one who convinced Elon Musk and Tesla to remain a public company instead of going private. She is widely considered one of the most influential investors of the modern era. She looks for disruptive technologies that can change the world in a positive way forever. ARK's investing thesis focuses solely on disruptive innovation and offers investment solutions to investors seeking long-term growth in the public markets. ARK holds a precision lens in thematic investing and seeks to research and invest in technology-enabled innovations that cut across economic sectors and change the way our world works.
We believe that there are 5 innovation platforms evolving at the same time. This has never happened in history. You have to go back to the late 1800s to see 3 innovation platforms evolving at the same time. Back then, electricity, telephone, and the internal combustion engine. For the 50 years through 1929, because of those innovation platforms, we experienced a booming economy and very low inflation. We see that happening with these 5 platforms, which are already, we believe, for prime time. The 5 innovation platforms upon which we base all of our research are DNA sequencing, robotics, energy storage, artificial intelligence, and blockchain technology. These platforms cut across sectors, they cut across geographies, they cut across markets. And importantly, they are converging with each other to spawn new innovation. Now just think about traditional research departments. Who's going to follow those stocks? These are platforms which cut across sectors and geographies. Only with a new kind of research effort do we believe the capital markets will fully be able to exploit these transformational opportunities.
I know we're not talking crypto in this video, but Cathie, just like myself, also believes that Bitcoin will play a larger role, and cryptocurrencies as a whole will play a larger role in the way our economy runs in the future. If you want to take a deeper dive into each of the sectors that were discussed earlier in the ARK investment thesis, you can find these on the ARK website under the investment solutions. On the left-hand side, look at the buy investment strategy. Let's walk through one together. We're going to use the ARK Disruptive Innovation as an example. What I like about this fund is it encompasses all the emerging technologies that Cathie really loves in one fund. When you open the tab and scroll down, you can see their investment focus, which has everything from artificial intelligence all the way through 3D printing. Below that, you can see an overview of what the fund actually holds, the typical stock holdings, anywhere between 35 to 55 stocks, and it even gives you a little bit of a description of what each of the companies in this portfolio represent. To take a deeper dive into this fund, scroll down to availability, and Explore ETF should be highlighted in purple. Click on the link. On this page on the left-hand side, you're going to see the fund details. It allows you to identify the total value of shares held in this fund under net assets. Below that, you'll see the expense ratio, which is the management fee in order to hold this ETF. And you'll also see the number of holdings, which is the different companies within this fund. And it's a range because they're actively trading shares of the underlying companies with what they feel is in the best interest of their shareholders. An ETF like this gives you diversification with professional management, and the fees aren't that excessive. That's what makes an ETF that's actively managed so special, because you're paying less than 1% as an overall management fee. If you're finding this information valuable, feel free to drop a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. If you scroll down a bit further, you can see how this fund has performed over a specified period of time. If you want to know which companies are involved in the fund, scroll down to the bottom and you should see the top 10 holdings. Now, these are the largest holdings in this ETF, but if you want to see a complete list, hit the View All Holdings button on the top right-hand corner. Here you'll find a list of all the companies held by ARKK, and they're going to be in descending order. The largest percentage of the fund will be at the top, the lowest percentage there at the bottom. So now you know how to navigate the ARK website and you can see what Cathie's investing in. All you need to do is, well, the same thing that she's doing, right? Wrong. Always look into the company for yourself. They would say do your own research. Cathie isn't infallible, but the way she invests can narrow down a list of companies that you might also be interested in. And that's the first step. But wouldn't it be great to also know when they buy or sell those stocks? Well, guess what, my friends? Now you can. To do so, go to the top of their website to the investor resource and sign up for their trade mailing list. Every day around 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, you'll receive an email from ARK letting you know what they've bought or sold for the day. You can export that list in Excel. You can then sort it out to find out which companies they bought, how often, and how many shares of each of those companies. Well, let me tell you something. If Cathie and the ARK team keep buying a stock over and over, that probably means that that company is undervalued or that company has significantly greater upside. Now, if they're selling that company, they could be making room for the acquisition of other shares of another company, or they might feel that company has run its course and it's time to get rid of it out of its portfolio. Now I'm going to run you through an example of how to export these lists and then how to sort the information so that you can identify momentum. First, I'm going to go to my email, and towards the bottom of the email they sent me should be a button that says download as an Excel sheet. Now I'm using a MacBook, so we use numbers instead of Excel, but they're going to operate pretty similarly. You're going to copy and paste multiple days under each other. First, we need to separate the buys from the sells. You're going to highlight the entire section that you want to organize or separate. You're going to hit the Organize button, Show Sorting Options, Sort Selected Rows, and Sort by Column. In this case, it will be C, which represents the buys and sells. Then hit the Sort Now button. This will cause the buys to rise to the top, like the cream of the crop, and the sells will fall towards the bottom. Now I want to identify whether a company's been bought multiple times in the same day or it's been bought in consecutive days. I'm going to highlight all the companies that have buy under the direction. They should be stacked. I'm going to go back to Organize, Sort Selected Rows, and this time I'm going to sort by column F. If they've been bought multiple times or in consecutive days, the names of those companies should be stacked up on each other. So our first example here would be Baidu. You can see that it was bought on the 30th twice, because the name is stacked on top of each other twice. You can see the same for Nintendo and then Regeneron Pharmaceuticals below. So now I want to see which companies they bought the most of. So I'm going to highlight the entire section like I just done, all of the buys, go back to Organize, Sort Selected Row, and instead of sorting by column F this time, we're going to sort by column H, which is the percentage of which it makes up the ETF. Now what you'll notice is that the larger percentages would be here at the bottom. So you can either go to the bottom of that buy section and figure out which are the larger buys, or in the sort column, you should see instead of ascending, go to descending. That will bring the larger percentage companies up towards the top. So you can see here that ARK Invest has bought a significant amount of Baidu on December 30th. I love analyzing trades of ARK Invest this way. It allows me to identify the momentum of buys or sell by ARK Invest and Cathie Wood. This gives me a bit of insight and competitive edge, letting me know that smart money is seeing something that I'm not. Cathie Wood and the ARK investment team have become some of the most influential investors over the past several years. Their returns suggest they understand how to value industries and present a greater upside on your investment, especially in a market that most experts would be considered overvalued. Cathie Wood believed in Tesla, and I believe in Cathie Wood. As always, save, invest, grow. Ciao, ciao.